Okay, let's start number 22. And as you can find here, it's domain 4, which relate to the boundaries. So as you can find here, I have critic, comma, stena, shine, comma, claims. And claims here appear as a verb. Critic, comma, stena, shine, comma, claims, comma. Critic, stena, shine, claims. Critic, stena, shine, comma, claims, comma. Uh, so the first thing, I have to look at the sentence or look at the text and look at the sentence that had the missing part. The one that has the missing part actually is the whole thing. It's a full sentence. So in 1937, this prepositional phrase, Chinese American screen actor Anime Wong. Take care of that. Here we have a title, then a name, no comma, because this is what will happen here also. When we have a title, then a name, no comma. So here the subject, where is the verb? Where is the verb? Let's continue. Because the verb, if after the subject, comma, before the verb, comma. So the verb is here. So who had portrayed? This is a relative clause, dependent. Who had portrayed numerous violin and secondary characters, but never a heroine. Finally got. So now I have independent, dependent. Independent, subject. And the verb, and between them, the relative clause, the dependent. Got a starring role in Paramount Pictures' Daughter of Shanghai. Then this is a positive. To say what is the Daughter of Shanghai? A film that critic Stina Shine claims. Wait. As you can find here, that is also is a relative pronoun. That what come after it is subject verb. So we mustn't separate between the subject and the verb shihawi. We mustn't separate between the subject and the verb. So that critic, shine, Stina, shine claim. And critic is a title. Stina, shine is a name. So when we have a title, then a name, no comma. Then we have the verb, subject and the verb, no commas between them. Number 23, claiming. We said that if you have a verb with ing without helping verb in the beginning, this is not a verb. Claim here is a verb. Having, it's not a verb. To claim, 2 plus verb is not a verb. So now we have 3 that they are not verbs and 1 that is a verb. So we're going to go with the rule of odd one out. But I want to be sure that we need a verb. Some historians claim we have subject and verb. Some historian subject claim verb that this. So the answer is going to be B. Number 24. We have food colon, and you know that the colon, we said many times that the colon will come at the end of a complete sentence. At the end of a complete sentence. Don't forget that. At the end of complete sentence, whether this complete sentence is independent or independent dependent or dependent independent. But after dependent alone, it can. After a phrase alone, it can. We have here comma. We have food while, and while is subordinate conjunction, and we have food alone. So now let's look at the sentence that had the missing part. It's also one sentence. Researcher, subject, studying Magnus station have determined that the verb, so this dependent, this independent clause. We have subject and verb. Independent clause. Why some soil-dwelling roundworms in the southern hemisphere move? Take care. Why here? We can relate it as subordinate conjunction, so dependent. Where is the verb? Roundworms. Where is the subject roundworms? Where the verb move? So this dependent. So independent after independent. In the opposite direction of Earth magnetic field when searching. What about this? What about this? This is nothing. Because not come after when subject verb. After when is ing. So it's nothing. When searching for food. Okay. Now we feel that the sentence is done. Are we going to put while? Why? Why we're going to put while in the northern hemisphere? Because while it must come after its subject verb. But here there is no subject verb. Here he said in the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down into the ground. So it looks like a new independent clause. But why it doesn't start with capital letter? So we must put comma. This is wrong. We must put comma or colon or nothing. Can we say for food in the North Hemisphere, then we start a new independent clause and between them only comma? No. If like that, it's gonna be two independent clauses. So what between them? It must be semicolon or comma fanboys or full stop. So this is wrong. So now, if we are gonna just choose this, is gonna be wrong. Now we are between comma, the same thing, how we put comma and we start another independent clause. We must have to put semicolon or full stop or comma fanboy. So the right answer is A, colon. So what come after is explanation. 25, pronoun antecedent agreement. It singular, themselves plural. But this is a reflexive pronoun. Them plural, itself singular, but reflexive pronoun. So now I need to decide first, it's singular or plural. This is number one. Scientists believe that, unlike most other species of barnacle, turtle barnacles, plural, can dissolve the cement-like secretion they use to attach. I'm talking about the turtle barnacles. So this plural. So forget about the singular. Now, is it possessive pronoun or reflexive pronoun? No, attach themselves to a sea turtle. So the answer is gonna be B. Okay. Now, this subject verb agreement allows singular, are allowing, are is plural, have allowed, have is plural, allow plural. So we have three plural and one singular. So we're gonna take the odd one out, but we want to be sure that our answer is right. Where we're gonna read, find the beginning of the sentence. Actually, it's from here and from here, not from the whole thing. It's from here. He said in both games, prepositional phrase, player, subject, encounter, verb, independent clause. Good or bad spaces while traveling along path. Now we have another sentence. Landing on one of the good spaces. This is, as you can find, it's what? A gerund phrase. Act as singular. So landing allows. So the answer allows. Let's go to number 27. And as you can find here, we have equations, comma, though, and colon. Equation, comma, though, comma. Equation, full stop, though, comma. Equations, though. So let's read the sentence. He said, Hopper's subsequent career is the subject, would involve more than just equations. So this independent clause, take care of that. Then, if we're going to use though as a pioneer, wait, Dr. Tamer. Though actually is a transition. Okay. If it come in the middle of a sentence, independent clause, we put comma before it and after it. If it come between two independent clause, take care, there are no two independent clause now. Let's find the other. He said what? As a pioneer computer programmer, this preposition phrase, Hooper would help. So this is another independent. And we have another independent here. So now how many independent? 3 independent. The first one, then the second one, and then the third one. Now there is a rule set. Take care of that. There is a rule set, but it's not going to be applied here, but just to know. If though to contradict the first and the second, so however it must be here. طب if it come at the end, we'll put comma, however, full stop. Comma, though, full stop. Do we have comma, though, full stop? No. If it's between this and this, so we must have though, comma, and full stop before it. Or comma though, as we said, no comma though is here because the colon can act as a full stop, so it can. But this is wrong because we don't have single independent clause, and this is wrong. So now let's try though now to contradict number 1 and number 2, or to contradict number 2 and number 3. If it's number 1 and number 2, so we're going to choose A. If it's number 2 and number 3, we're going to choose C. Let's find, read number one and number two. In 1943, in the midst of the World War II, mathematics professor Grace Hopper was recruited by the US military to help the war effort by solving complex equations. Hopper's subsequent career would involve more than just equation, huh? It's contradicted with the first one, not with the last one. Read the last one. As a pioneering computer programmer, Hopper would help usher in the digital age. No, so the answer is A. The answer is A. Number 28. When we have the care convention, when the choices are long, this is modifier. Don't forget. So upon recovering 2 years later, who recovered 2 years later? Henry? Oreen? Oreen? Because Henry is here has apostrophe S, so it can be the main subject or it. It is wrong. And B and C, they have Reen, the same word. Reen here and Reen here. So the answer is Henry. So who recovered 2 years later? Henry. Now, this is the explanation that I explained here. This is the part that I told you. If it's between 1 and 2, so though it's gonna come here and after it full stop and before it comma. If it come here and here, between 2 and 3, so it will be followed like that. You have to just study this again. If the contradiction between 1 and 2, so we're gonna put though here, before it comma, after it semicolon or full stop or comma fanboys or colon. If the contradiction between 2 and 3, so we're gonna put though here in the middle, before it comma, semicolon, comma fanboys, and after it comma. So let's find this. Here, transition. By contrast, contradiction. Consequently, cause and effect. Secondly, sequence. For example, exemplification. Let's take a sentence before and sentence after. Sentence before and sentence after. So the sentence before, just to know the relationship between them, to know which one you're going to put. He said what? Here. Although novels and poems are considered distinct literary form, many authors have created hybrid works that incorporate elements of both. Bernardine Eversto's The Emperor's Babe is a verse, this example, is a verse novel, a book-length narrative complete with characters and a plot, but conveyed in short, crisp lines of poetry rather than prose. So we just give example of how we put novels and poems together. For example, that was actually the homework of last time from number 22 till 29. Now we're gonna start all together. We're gonna complete this part. Then we're gonna have time. We're gonna have to solve a test on my website. Solve now number 30 and 31, please. 30 and 31. Okay, let's find. I got the answer from Yusuf, from Isan, from Omar, from Shahawi. Okay. Omar only has one mistake for number 30. Let's find together. In other words, rephrase. For instance, exemplification. By contrast, contradiction. Accordingly, cause and effect. So let's find a sentence before and sentence after to know the relation. At 2 weeks old, the time their critical socialization period begins, wolves can smell but cannot yet see or hear. Domesticated dogs can see, hear, and smell by the end of the 2 weeks. So, by contrast, contradicting between the wolves and the dogs. Ya Omar. Here, similarly, agreement. For this reason, cause and effect, furthermore, addition. Increasingly, I know that this is the first time to see this transition. It's rising trend over time. Rising trend over time. So let's take a sentence before and sentence after. He said here researchers Helena, Male Jeff Branded, Lucia Santa Maria, and Marco Tolini report that while mathematicians may have traditionally worked alone, evidence point to a shift in the opposite direction. So they worked alone, but evidence points to a shift in the opposite direction. Mathematicians are choosing to collaborate with their peers. So this contradict no, it just address or emphasize the same point. Mathematicians are choosing to collaborate with their peers. A trend, huh? A trend illustrated by a rise in the number of mathematic publication credited to multiple authors. So it's not gonna be cause and effect. Can be addition. It can be addition. Can be agreement. Also, it can be agreement. But here he said, or he gave us a kind that increasingly, a trend illustrated by a rise. A rise. The word rise, let me just go to increasingly. Let's go to 32 and 33. I got the answer from Shihawi. From Isam. From Omar. Waiting for Yusuf Magdi. Yusuf Magdi, you didn't write the answer for number 32 and 33. You are with us, Yusuf?
Yes,
Okay, 32 and 33.
it's not letting me send.
Because you are sending, just make it, because in the beginning you sent to the whole group. Now I make it individual. Just send to me,
Okay.
Yusuf. Okay, I got 32. We're 33. Okay. Unfortunately, number 32, got them wrong. Number 32, both got wrong, Yusuf and Assam. Again, we said that we're going to look at the goal in the rhetorical synthesis. Then we're going to look at the choices. If you find more than one choice can achieve this, read up, but after elimination. What he wants here to present the study and its findings. So I need two stuff. I need the study and the findings. The study and the findings. A. In 2021, Chance May, Turan studied Betrasaur, Joe Bones, and was initially unsure if the bones belong to juvenile or adults. Okay, he just tell us about the study, but he didn't tell us about the finding because here he said unsure. Let's look at B. Betrasaur Joe Bones located in the Sahara Desert, where the focus of a 2021 study. Maybe did the finding. Where did the study? These the findings. Where did the study? Nothing. And they said here findings, plural. Here it's singular. C. In a 2021 study, Chance May Turan used advanced microscope techniques to analyze the jaw bones of petrosaurs, flying reptile that existed millions of years ago. Maybe this is a study. Where are the findings? Nothing. Look here now. In a 2021 study, Chance May Turan determined the finding that Petrosaur bones located in the Sahara Desert had few growth lines relative to the bones of fully grown Brachiosaurs, and now findings thus belong to juveniles. So here he just introduced the study and give us the findings that they are plural. Let's look at 33. What he wants to compare the two women's contribution to the March on Washington. I need comparison between the contributions of two women, not between the two women, the contributions of the two women on the March on Washington. Hegman, I'm sorry, and Bates, these are the two women, contributed to the march in different ways. Bates, for example, delivered a brief but memorable addresses. Okay, here he took only about Bates. What about the other one? Hedgeman worked in politics and helped organize the march. While, contradiction, Bates was a journalist and school desegregation advocate. But wait, now he compared between both of them, not between the contributions of both of them. It's wrong. Although Hedgeman worked behind the scenes to make sure a woman speaker was included, Bates was the sole woman to speak at the march. Yes, here it talk about their contribution and used the word although to this comparison. D. Many African American women, including Bates and Hedgeman, fought for civil rights, but only one spoke at the march. He doesn't talk about the contribution, the comparison between the contribution. So the answer is C. Like that, we finish test 26 completely. Let me stop the recording.